When you think about AI, what pops into your head? A chatbot, right? Or maybe one of those cool image generators. Well, today, we're going to look past the screen. We're going to peel back the curtain to uncover the massive, invisible machine that makes it all work.
This quote right here is our starting point. It's our North Star for this whole discussion. Now, substrate is just a fancy word for the physical stuff something is made of. And this is a powerful reminder that intelligence, whether it's ours or artificial, isn't just some abstract idea. It has a physical reality. It's built on something real.
So on the one hand, you've got the AI we see and use every day. The helpful assistant writing an email for you. But on the other hand, there's this vast, hidden ecosystem. This is the story we're diving into. The incredible planetary-scale machine that's hiding behind the magic.
All right, so let's start with what we all know. The AI right there on your screen. And let's be honest, these tools are amazing. They are the visible, shiny layer of what some people are calling the cognitive age. It's so easy to think of AI as just software, right? Like it's nothing more than code floating around in the cloud. But that view misses the most important part of the picture. The software is just the ghost. Now let's go find the machine.
And this gets us to a really crucial idea. AI has a body, a physical presence in the world, just like any other intelligence. So what's that body actually made of? Let's take a look.
Meet the digital foundries. I love that term. These aren't your typical office buildings. We're talking about colossal data centers, and they're really the modern version of the steam engines that kicked off the Industrial Revolution. This is where raw electricity gets forged into intelligence. And the fuel for these foundries? Gigawatts of power, an incredible amount. Every single time you ask an AI a question, every single time you generate an image, there is a real-world energy cost. This makes the AI industry one of the biggest new energy consumers on the planet.
And this right here, this just shatters the myth of the cloud. We think of it as this weightless, ethereal thing, but it's not at all. It is literally bolted to the ground. It's tethered to our electrical grids, it drinks up massive amounts of water for cooling, and it depends on incredibly fragile global supply chains for everything from rare minerals to the microchips themselves.
So, if the data centers are the body, the hardware, then what's the lifeblood? Well, that's data. But it's not just sitting there. It's data in a constant, accelerating feedback loop that acts like the system's nervous system.
This is so important for understanding how this all works. An AI creates something, a piece of text, an image, you name it. That creation then goes out into the world and becomes new data. Then the next generation of AI models trains on it. See the loop? It just compounds on itself, getting faster and faster with each cycle. But here's the catch, and it is a big one. This incredibly powerful loop has no morality. It's amoral. It just amplifies whatever it's fed. So if the input is biased, what comes out is just more bias, but supercharged. If the system is trying to get you to engage, it'll often just amplify outrage. The very thing that makes it so powerful is also what makes it so risky. Now, all of this, the hardware, the data loops, is building a whole new economic model. This machine isn't just changing technology, it is fundamentally rewriting the rules of the market. So, welcome to the inference economy. The big idea here is simple. We're moving past just collecting data. The real value, the real money, is now in inference. That's the process of using all that data to generate predictions and anticipate what's coming next.
This chart breaks it down perfectly. The old model was all about data collection, knowing what you bought last week. The new model, it's about inference generation, predicting what you're gonna buy next week. The goal itself has shifted from just having information to being able to anticipate the future.
And what's the result of this massive shift? A huge concentration of power. Companies that master this gain what's called algorithmic economies of scale. It's another one of those powerful feedback loops, but this one is economic. The better their AI gets, the more data they attract, which in turn makes their AI even better. It just snowballs.
So to really wrap our heads around this invisible machine, we have to change our perspective. We need to stop looking at the individual parts and start seeing the entire system as a set of interconnected flows.
The first and most fundamental flow is raw energy. It's just coursing through silicon chips in those digital foundries being transformed into computation. The second flow is data.
This is the digital lifeblood, constantly moving through global networks, feeding the models, and carrying their creations back out into the world.
And the third flow? That's capital. This is the one that steers the whole ship. Billions of dollars in investment that guide and accelerate the growth of the entire system. These three flows, together, they create a kind of living, adaptive organism.
And woven through all of this is an invisible human cost, something that's really easy to forget. Intelligence is never truly immaterial. There are armies of people labeling data, often in the global south. There are content moderators shielding us from the most toxic stuff online. There are electrical workers literally keeping the lights on. They are all a crucial part of this machine too.
Which brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle, our role. What's our responsibility in guiding this incredibly powerful and fast-moving system?
This is what experts call the pacing problem. Technology is improving at an exponential, almost unbelievable speed. Meanwhile, our methods of governing it, our laws, our regulations, move at a much slower, linear pace. And as you can see, that gap is getting wider every single day.
And that brings us full circle. This machine, it isn't some alien thing that just landed here. It's a reflection of us. It runs on our energy, it learns from our data, and it is shaped by our collective choices.
Which leaves us with the most critical question of all. Now that we can see this invisible machine, its body, its nervous system, its economic engine, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of system are we choosing to build? Because the choice, ultimately, is ours.